FM Sony Ekosiisen dwumedie no asogu so a wotie no yɛda mo nyina asese matwen yɛn ama yakwaba medin di osaibo nsu from Yobi and a review of the president SONA21 many honorable Felix Kwatiofosu and our former deputy minister communications sounds so and a current member of parliament for the second day constituency the honorable Andrew Ejapa Mesa and penifo mienu ni eno AD enkomo ye be korona you drew honorable Felix so na ya share in second round any other business ni sorry Felix me patcho ma mintio
yo obi me dase obi minia Ejapa Mesa o kan sem bi ma me hu dwiri me kakra in the first
Ekosiisen on Asempa
FM no edi kan no oji echinye se nsem a special prosecutor ka fa Ejapa di no ho na eni nyina so maybe me I wasn't even referring to who has capacity or who does not have capacity to sign anything. And no way to answer a procedural matter. A debatable. Who should say humanity, Miss say a debatable. But he raised substantive issues of corruption and ethical breaches. The first point they say Ebani sen o mampeni ni nua. It's a cousin de nua. Ghana had will be your cousin now. That's when they are first cousins. Ebani sen and who be di eye Ejapa mu. Considering the fact that a finance minister no and AD at the name, the company data bank by a name, almost say they are partners to Imara. But of all the brokerage houses of Ghana, of all the financial institutions of Ghana, why data bank?
Why not data bank?
Because it is ethically improper. Basically, or pick on one company to advise him on the Japan. That's what has happened. It is not proper. Say you can't corruption it starts with laying the foundations for ethical the way you say say you
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM
say obi for your finance minister na say offer data banker there's no ethical breach but to the extent that he was leading the charge it was not proper to pick his own company etosu mienu e ba ne say na o mampeni ni nua biom ne law firm esan so kwa partner to some external legal advisor. Essentially, they were benefiting from Jumedia or more eye. Now, one of the principles of governance is that one fat public office no seek profit gain. Just one fat or minor acquaintance the amount say buno and pre-BB mount. Say you can't project as a share boom ne fire by Nano. Say you did DBasha once now the pre-BB mount who will bush. The special prosecutor raised those issues. Etosu mi no can say o mampeni no si no ho kwan say on train na onko bisa obi asemomransa. That was interference because he is a special prosecutor. He is independent. Or the reporter bro. The way you say what kind of report no. So wabo obi dia na wo inviting the panel for a response. Then you take a decision. You don't ask him to go and incorporate anybody's comments. That is interference. Where yes, who to charge nipa no sign nipa niti. It's not what you will. That is what the special prosecutor spoke about. It is not that the principle say Ubika Wansema as your more Aquina Emma was breached. The special prosecutor he had not done any wrong. He was not a court. Na oni ubiaten. Na or share and somewhere by any na watch them. In any event, response data bank and they said they've been around for 30 years. It is even if they've been around for 200 years, it is immaterial. It's still a finance minister there. And it is that relationship ninti ena etia eye insusuye na adwenchira e wo plan ketasehye ekono. That is the issue. So the fact that in previous times na aban mi no we adwuma no doesn't mean say wo be finance minister continue that relationship because immediately you establish conflict of interest, which is a key ingredient in the fight against corruption.
Conflict of interest or children.
Basically benefiting from one kasa who decisions in government.
But that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
But what is not it?
No.
Say you have an interest in what is happening. That's what
it's important that we educate. Just so that
no problem.
Conflict of interest or arise when you fail to disclose your interest.
Obi. That's all. Obi.
What are we talking about?
No. Say you open the floodgates.
But that's exactly what it is.
I'm telling you that the idea say you are a minister of state and your company benefits from your decisions. No, it's not proper. How? Why? Obi, what is the principle? Say you don't use public office for private gain. There's no guarantee. Say when you're finance minister, your company will get it because they are competitors.
Yeah.
You are not a loan service provider. So what I say, you have monopoly in the sector. You have monopoly, everybody will understand. Say but there are options.
In any event, let them know see.
But them also you obini na me chere there.
And let them know see. But that will proceed.
Obi. Of all the financial institutions in Ghana, say Imara per partner, it cannot be the finance minister's company. And the idea say Imara for were not aware of this relationship, cannot be tenable. What also about African Legal Associates?
But is it also the case that Imara probably had that relationship pre-Nanado's administration?
Because of that relationship between the finance minister and the company, it was not a proper thing to do. Okay. So it is not cured by mere disclosure. And this other second you can disclose and there's no problem. And this is also animal, so it is not allowed. So in the Ejapa deal, there were substantial issues of corruption and ethical breach. Ebiom Gabi law firm. No. It is not the oldest law firm in Ghana. It's not the biggest law firm in Ghana. There are more prominent law firms in Ghana. Almost so over the years they've done business with government. There's no guarantee. Say ne president. So because of that, you avoid that kind of transaction. In any event, Omampeni Akufo-Addo OCNP in his campaign say Oba sa Kokufubo Obono enya de obeye family and friends government no nye. He was attacking a predecessor over alleged but even false claims. Said now he was engaged in conflict of interest. And I say family and friends government. It is Oba. We cannot use a different measuring rod to measure him apart from his own commitments. So those are the substantive issues. That's what who has capacity to sign us. I say kind of debatable. Contestable. We can even resolve it legally. Say let's go to court.
But then the market transaction null and void now.
Yes,
end of no effect.
Yes, but that is
because
not
the deputy minister had no capacity to contract.
That
was what he said.
But honestly, fine. But there are many things in it.
But why do you want me to discount
I'm
that?
not discounting. I'm saying I don't find that particularly interesting and yet significant issue for me. That's what I'm saying. The other issue is say he ended up by saying contrary to what they are now on Susu say Etienne. Sana Omampeni Ekwa Okaso Okwetia Point Ketasiano Yanokre. And that he's a mother serpent of corruption. It's a scathing indictment because Omampeni Nankasa and the son started by Ghana for say when and when Muji say Obekwetia Point Ketasishi. So if the man turns round to indict the president this way, the president cannot escape blame. I thought me no. Or say Omampeni Ibibia for PP and Masa. Say Obi Edi Boni. Na one so no mu enkojina quarter. One year cranky. Because minimum cases be with the speed of lightning almost will move because it involved opponents. Abra of Osampofu so called be by. How long did it take them to take him to court? Sir, Assembly is not 2 years old at least. Does it look to you like Obeyohu Bibi? NY Assembly is it almost not 2 years? Australia visa scandal is it almost 3 years? Does it have to take 3 years for a government to know say see a corporate assembly? The thing is that enya do meya ho hwe. Say ka say we you obi edi inquiry say that is no issue. Omampeni Mahama ono de NDC ni kujina court. He could also have just dismissed the man. That is the test. That is the standard.
But if Omampeni investigating, when who say you don't have solid grounds to prosecute, what do you do?
So you need solid grounds. Why do you dismiss the man? Why do you dismiss the man if he's done nothing wrong? There is no commitment to prosecute. It is not possible to say, as for Omampeni Akufo-Addo Nkwade, there be a Osheshe Poeniketa Sesha, it's not possible because people have gone to court for lesser offenses. And I'm a FM. Nancy minority MPs call picketing Kakrawo. Were they not arraigned before a court? But look at the gravity of science and any science. Example for assembly. They did not go to court. Could they not exercise discretion? But they took the person to court. I'm out for court for procurement breaches. Now, I bet you say Obi he could only have obtained through dubious means. I would say you don't have evidence. What other evidence do you need? Etoso mi no energy issues as well many I can me wan kakra she say boni a NDC aye say ye wo ohawo e wo ho de daada abanya aba at least in the last 30 years we now have confronted that problem. Now why she say ye nko saa ti be mu bio mtimede de bonifa ne generation capacity ni be ka ho and I obi catch us say doom so at least in our time was not this generation capacity. The person is not telling the truth. Okay? I was also in government. So I also had access to the documents and the reports. The first time I saw it was due to a breach in a pipeline. I am in gas. And no man penny, Mama Coca say a force majeure. I am before so say the work no enter. But that is what happened. There were equipment and those equipment had broken down. So even though they were installed, they were generating nothing. What I T3. When you say yes, I am broom. But you will count it as capacity. And I thought we simply did not have sufficient reserve margin. And demand also was growing at an average of 10% per annum. It's only a visionless government will sit down and say, Sisiano, they want to be swing me and young. But President Mama is a man of vision. Say, ene omoji echinya, momunko doom a Mary and a car power and see whether we will live in light.
The data doesn't show we would go off.
Mary is off.
Oh, but I'm saying that
Mary is off.
But there's a difference between a temporal way and a doom.
Mary has been off since end of January.
But why?
Mary is off.
Obi, I said since the time I can haven't to be having intermittent power outages. Sunday,
But if you have
Miss Rao,
end of January, intermittent
Obi, Momunum car power so come. Let them switch off car power and let me who was as a radio reporter because say we damono in Sionari and it's in outages now saying. So you claim we have more than enough, and yet in Sobiria we have outages. Where is the consistency? Inti party biara obejina simpie so abo omampani mama so bo say he has given us more power than we need now. Inti why bone no? It's completely visionless. Party etesa no. I can bet my bottom dollar. Say your mom another 4 years Ghana be could do so because they will do nothing. They don't even have the capacity to know say we increase the idea to meet demand. As one try my demand no cause once why you won't be. It's President Mama put us in a position and my young could do so if we manage things properly. Obi nice when who let power produce and better was say almost escape your about just almost switch off power plants. Is that not a financial issue? Almost yes dear. How did they come to incur such huge debt as to get threats from power producers say they will switch off generation capacity? And I wouldn't say they owe billions to power producers. So where is their knowledge? In any event, Esla cry they buy they saw legacy debt and now have they not increased it to create more revenue? So what are we talking about here? It is as no President Mama deserves praise. Now also yedi obi I increase generation capacity we see we di you who are buy ya won ye hwe no ye mo nsam ma you should be praised for doing nothing obi a waye bibie tu anamo eyi ye free or how it is am no ye mo no so bo. What kind of twisted logic is this? Other than MPP for no crowd one person musi ni trase when you were in opposition mo boy so bo say ye ntumi so obudum so ya solve ade na sam mo ba mo ba ye at least ye to aba we in the last 2 months de bia am for the sumu na mo de yan mo nsam mama na nipa oye adwuma yi ye free sa haw ni mo no obia eni tiare de yan mo no so bo. Obi, another issue raising is say the economy was doing better until COVID. No, you see, on what I said there are facts. I gave you specific indicators. My mom is saying man can indicators no.
Ekosiisen
They use Maku 18 to do the assessment. Normally we focus on 4 or 5 because they are significant. Not that others no matter. But in terms of impact, any understanding, one of them is growth. Mobile no na e 3.5. Obi enim say doom so affected that. Go and check the sectorial growth. Obi won say industry na atiaba from because of the lack of electricity supply. Even though President Mama took responsibility, Obi enim say asem no it predates him. including time now Mampeni Kufuor president. 8 years MPPD it contributed to that problem. But he took responsibility because Onana Abba. But Obianim himself, nobody can honestly say President Mama caused him so. But he took responsibility as a leader should do. But up until time, na Yemfia Bemono, na in Swadwaba, but it had affected the economy. Anything in 3.5 was not because of any mismanagement. But in all your analysis, no, you don't accept any excuse. Mobile, because of oil and mobile 2 years, the economy grew at 8.1. Since then, Atiaba forms are the next one is 6.5 and 6.3. They never went to 7. But Obi, answer na cover the bebano. The facts show said the economy was deteriorating. Deficit now working. There's nothing that gives Ken Oforiatta the right to exclude any expenditure in 3D below the line. Otherwise, Obi abet me. Within the budget statements or the core parliament. O to no hobo no hosa for hene. President Nana say he has resolved the banking sector crisis. In other words, he is taking credit for the banking sector crisis. Now, the liability he creates, what's me and Fanka? You want praise and accolades for resolving a problem, but the liability he creates, no, what's the idea? Me and Fanka na obina a year you were forced to. If you were forced to do something, why do you take credit for it? And yeah, we could also have said, and yes, 6.3 number 2016, it could have been 4.1 because we would treat other items as below the line. You make me like I say, even expenditure incurred on Doomso could have been treated below the line because it's not an everyday occurrence. So it is not allowed. The truth is that your deficit in 2018-2019 were worse than 2016. That was before COVID. COVID used to buy your deficit is going through the roof because of reckless expenditure. It had nothing to do with fighting COVID. It is just because you wanted to win elections. You basically were bribing the electorate. Then now you know. It also mean a car no. Sir, talk of rates of debt accumulation, a fabrication. And Komodia no mood in opposition was not like that. The key issues you look at, so share or minus kasem, now we share car idea. The ocean, cannot do any the impact it has on your GDP in terms of the comparison away. Anything I find the debt to GDP ratio. Another one so the amount of domestic revenue or the service debt. That rate of accumulation is a fabrication. In order to excuse themselves from the very terrible situation they've left us in. Omoba no 120 billion. Before I do so in March last year, not across the 200 billion. It had nothing to do with COVID. The debt to GDP ratio, no. He cannot tell me, say, a debt to GDP ratio of about 63% as of March last year, no, is better than 56.5%. What kind of analysis is that? It was deteriorating. Because mind you say, not economy, at least nominally, not expanding. Because now a 215 billion as of December 2016. Time a year say now a bank 300 billion under them and sana COVID is striking. And yet you had accumulated so much debt. Say your debt to GDP ratio was nearing 70%. And you know credit that it is not true, not on the basis of facts and figures. Said they were doing better. They were not. The problem is that COVID has worsened it. It also means no. So some working about IMF. To begin with, IMF no, you've even done worse. Modi amakwaje rapid credit facility. Yeah, then extended. Extended say ya chemu into afibia mo bi. Bobodi e din na ama mafe. So we economy ya papa, you won't go for that. Now COVID has strike 3 weeks pe. And I will is adian. And you should read the letter biom can offer at the command IMF. Do akwaje ye no e dey boni from the balance of payment support. Say or they be show up seed no. What had happened to your reserves as before COVID, but now then they see what reserves. You had depleted it. As also me answer. What catch here and say there's the bonifano fencing. You ensure fiscal discipline. It is in your manifesto.
Ekosiiisen
2016 manifesto. Page 30. What's it? Fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline. Say, a die you be kwa huchiri mu. Ube say isi kasem no. Ube tutu ni ye no. We nkodi amuru di ebe tumi di no. Se na ebe ya. Emfa huchiri mre. You violated it through your expenditure patterns. And yet you are here singing praises. Why? You have not done well. Indeed, the economy we have now is the worst in 40 years. Now, make us say some countries are growing better than Ojimechinye. Ethiopia and Rwanda, they are African countries. They are growing higher than us. Also, they were affected by COVID. Rwanda, they are under COVID. There's nothing extraordinary about what you've done in the last 4 years. Yet, now more can someone no cre deliberately misleading the public, even where the facts show otherwise. How when a bit making us simple, like I say, the economy, a woman says, and I say, and the period before COVID, not a year, it was not better, it was worse. In fact, on top of that, so crowd was the fact say you are even under declaring your deficits. Now, with in Yemeni BC, you are treating other items as below the line expenditure. Every finance minister can do that. But I say, we didn't create a amount for. It is some Canadian, as some of the trunching. The other issue I'm best touching. Promises on my penny bay and
that should be your final
Yes.
point.
the obey somebody got say
Ekosiiisen on Asempa FM.
because obisha wo ba ese wo hwe nipa no
Asempa FM.
nti e ka se kwotro kwase obema wontuma wutie ni di sa ensem wo mampani begina ho kan ne se obeye no. What credibility should we ascribe to it? Obe ose omo agenda 111, that is 111 hospitals. Meboa
District hospitals and regional hospitals.
Obi Sasem no can June 2020. One of his COVID addresses. And Adribi. And open not see Omeye 88. Or can see so dia say side you made the never see in July. Now Ombe we within 12 months, 1 year. It's been 8 months since that time. Not one of those hospitals has come up. One. Bako kra mun since you. So why should we believe say you will build 111? In the Wobeye or Mampeni, not one district hospital now we see in all the 4 years. Yet you will say in 3 years no, you will build 111. How? How do we believe you? You will build 111 hospitals in 3 years. When to me and see Bakokra in 4 years. Where is the level of confidence that we should place in you? The other issue so kind of say Sisi and when you're Minister for Lands and
Ekosiiisen
Natural
on
Resources.
Asempa FM.
Yeah, mini and madam for Samuel Abujinapo. Inti Galamse in Topano, Yebeshemukina. Obi, Abro Mampini Nankasa de ne office. Eto was so when to me and ya or the new better one. What happened? When he put his office on the line, his job on the line. Galamse to Ekosiiisen. And ya pro any any dream the course. Excavators in Yantaban, etu for your mind with Party for Etonton excavators, HA. When the president had put his own job on the line. Na Omampeni Ankasa, Edin Enim, Ekosento, Kwanemuno, Yehuso, na minister, and Yebehuso. Where should we derive the confidence from to believe what the president is saying now? Inti sa hyperbolic praise of ministers, no? When he himself was supposed to be leading the fight in Nkosi, Omampeni share the authority Omampeni wo. And Omampeni bet we sound double. You will nipa egufiase a yebu omukunfo. Omampeni de ne sa ehye penase paper say na you bet me akosen obi okunu. With all these powers, with the military police at his disposal, when to me anko ntia Galamsey. Na minister no bet me akwo ntia Galamsey. The other issue, the lack of empathy
on Asempa FM.
for nipa omu during elections. No. Edikan Makasha say it is the worst record of violence in the entire Fourth Republic. There's never been an election during the process, no, nipa ewu da since 92. But this time nipa watching and ewu. It is an unprecedented occurrence. It been see that nipa omo adehye ewu no. Almost soon egujam. Omudi yawo. The least a president can do is to show empathy. Enema mienu say asemwa ato omo no. Oni omo na ejam. Owotema e watenka de mawo. Ena to so mi no behwe se nipa edi sa anyama asem no. Ya twe omaso. None of this was present in the State of Nation address. Obi, I'm not talking about some scaffold keke. Bia obi afunu ho ati. Ana obi etin hwibiate. We are talking about the loss of 8 lives. Me de me yapa any 14-year-old girl. me hu the picture dey bia na me yama hye. Say nti obetumi na me nua ketwa. Say obi ba we di 14 oba a girl. Boni be no tumi ye am ye boni to sabi obi during election.
Ekosiiisen
What say
on
obi
Asempa
ofa
FM.
ballot box. He was given is it a 3-month sentence and he fine no. Look at an offense as grievous as snatching a ballot box. Look at the punishment I demand. And I believe it should be so because some of a ballot box it is not punishable by death. Into anupo or year boneno. Ya so no mood na court ama ye bu no for ama okode if ya say in fear mensa and ya boneka.
Bosome miensa.
Bosome miensa. Msiawo and ya boneka. Na momo no abayu aketwa or kwahwe ade keke no matutu abon and nothing is happening. Tama I think it was 6 January and okoye the final State of the Nation address when Parliament was rising. I don't know one can. It's not to say it was an oversight. Into Akwenya for problem he will touch on it. But there's no mention of it. Now the I am also can say there should be concession and congratulation. The other issue is the fight against corruption. Or say the MPP is not a party, a Kutia state institutions. And no credit, Obi. Look, this is the worst government in terms of undermining state institutions. My approach towards government say a zero-sum game. Because as a Chinese say omono kita to me na obi eni ho kwan so no so be mu bi. Nti obiara enyo no eno power no. Sa institution influential na dey obekun etia no. So onya akwan obeyi na firi ho. He did it to Charlotte say. Oji Charlotte say free ho and install people who we know are extremely partisan.
Would that be fair to say he did it again?
But he removed Charlotte. I have no doubt about it. You can use.
But you heard what she was doing with her deputies on air.
The
allegations against each other.
What gives the president the power to do that?
No, the allegations.
What allegations?
In there.
What allegations?
And the president went through the process.
What process? Obi. The process can
or
be
the petition the command.
The process can be short-circuited. Me know can say there's a petition against Jean Mensa. President's going for a petition to command Chief Justice. There's a petition against Jean Mensa. President going for command Chief Justice. There was a petition. There was a petition sent by Prince Derrick J to President on former Chief Justice. One found the right process. Charlotte say petition it was defective. No mistakes. Almost free ni pano. Emani be correct here. No mo de call because they wanted to remove her. So because say the president don't call Charlotte office and come question MP. He will use a process. Now president appointed na okase nipa no nkɔ hwɛ asɛm ntia wo bia. What do you expect? The same thing on my yetia Domelovu. When we said there was a time that they even wanted to prosecute him, so okay. Yoko SRC some more investigation. Suddenly they found criminality against the man.
Asempa FM.
Now it was civil society organizations. Mano any media mano ye dinti eno mo train sa asem the sign. It was and that crawl associate asem no. Masa. Enya sene na menua mesa e kanu no. This explanation say work could $1 million. Auditor say send me the documents showing work done. Any invoices near the idea say can also member office. Where is this done? Auditor General or the two ministers in on minister be our office to inspect any documents. Or he is given power to look into government expenditure. There was nothing extraordinary about Crawl Associates. Jumomudi no. Obi ameka se kwakache auditor ne se na Crawl Associate omo ya ne se na omoje opponent political opponents phones na omako access data wo so ahwe. That's what they were doing. Now even why yes what is so secretive about it say want me emfa documentation invoices any ade eche so ma yeduma no nkoma auditor general ne hwe. Now even go and look at the documentation coverage. It was done without any procurement process. The letters involved were backdated. Senior minister, Amuna SCS sa a national security and
Asempa FM.
National security, minister in charge of national security. At the time, Nom minister of state in charge of national security. National security advisor. SI was national security coordinator. It is a national security any obi koye contractor. All these 4 people have capacity to represent government of Ghana. Yet it was a former senior minister And in what capacity did he do that? There was no procurement process covering it. As someone Penika said, he supports state institutions like MPP, and yes, it is not true. They are the one party. A targeted state institutions are almost to say, "You passing will be."
Obi, fact, now conjecture, two different things. The fact of the matter is that many of the anti-corruption institutions are organ just before
Ekosiiisen on SONA FM
or appointee substantive officers. When during this era, they were all acting capacity. Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo be Shraj or the ones that could be Mr. Vita. That be no appointed. Oh, chairman. Yeah. Obi, Mr. Daniel Domelovo, until his going on leave, and subsequent inconsistencies in Nankasa the documentation onamdo ma clearly indicate there by now order pension. Ni tape praise the president NTR. NC, why do we be so asem MPD yami?
Mate.
Thank you. The resources are Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo Naban. Right to Information Act. For years.
Ekosiiisen on SONA FM.
President Kufuor do ton was start you. Baby di 8 years. What the leader man with the fiabanum. Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo be pass. Indeed, last year it's been fully operationalized. And I would defend for implementation this year of starter. Came. Oh, it to me interject.
Right Information Act. Any concrete evidence of infrastructure in terms of the fight against corruption. Obi, Omwa, Australia visa scandal.
No.
So, of what is that right information?
Obi.
So you have to apply.
Thank you. In any event, Obi, Mr. You are going to investigate Australia visa scandal. President, what was that investigation? Reporter, what's our investigation?
Yes.
Won't we make a say after the investigation, these are the people who did it. This is the punishment I'm ascribing to them.
Okay.
So much for the fight against corruption.
Share Obi. And with there be a catcher there. Autumn Pia, yes, yeah, adherents of the rule of law. But we really don't believe in it.
Ekosiiisen on SONA FM.
Titri, you know, no mendisifu. What are no keke na wadeka. Osande, if you don't put in place the regulatory framework, that one yana. How can it be triggered to yield or support the fight against corruption? But the institutional framework has been put in place. Regulatory framework has been passed by this government. It's a matter of fact. It's not been 8 years.
What?
You didn't do it. No, on your process.
What process?
No, on your process.
4 years and 8 you have a
Yeah. A journey of 1,000 miles. We begin with a step.
Now, openness, why is that?
Oh, chairman. It's not been 8 years. Step no crime to be in fact a question. But we have taken the steps. So it's not a complaint. We have passed the law.
It's when you pass a law.
Oh, chairman. Yeah.
Ekosiiisen
Oh yeah, you
on
don't know
SONA
end this
FM.
for so you will feed there. Sebi. Yankano. Also won't go dum car power. no dum car power dum so baba. Do you know why that car power ship is there? Obi, do you know?
Why is it there?
What contractor Sankofa ENI gas take or pay? In fact, as we speak, ENI gas into consume nina. In fact, because of ENI, Talo, Jubilee on 10, they have to re-inject back the gas. So tell me how any government will shut down car power.
Asempa FM.
In any event, Obi, document I made it show we. Now I'm preparing details. Between 2010, na Ghana yen capacity ayewo or yen almost 3,000.
Ekosiisen
We
on
came
Asempa
on stream
FM.
2011, 2012, or increasing to about 3,400. As we speak, in there, our peak demand is under 3,000. Reserve margin or 10%. 10% of 3,000 or 3,300. Or 300.
Yes.
Inside the Kawa, oh yeah, 3,300. Oh, Masa Mamanka Masam. Masa Mamanka Masam. Masa Mamanka Masam.
Maninye, that's installed capacity.
Mamanka
Yes.
Masam. Obi. Between 2015 to date, how much power have they added? Almost
Asempa
3,000.
FM.
Such that today, shortfall, revenue shortfall, because yeah, ECG, power what charge you may consume, right? But they are paying for power that you and I don't use. That's my
Ekosiisen on
because
Asempa
one
FM.
contract so much power such that sika wobeji biano ontumuntua power what generator what produce mami now you use. That's what is called the excess capacity charges. More than $1 billion per year. Yet you have the audacity to talk. Chief. Why don't I catch you there? Abba statement. Abba statement. Oh, but you to me your share. Ye au yibra. I mean, America say, Mark mo document. Oh, na chapa de chawa say.
You are interpreting it wrongly. America completely, technically, it is completely wrong. It is not sound. With a greater respect to you. You were more than installed capacity. Only a free work.
Felix, we'll come back.
Any hour
Available
available
capacity.
capacity. Any hour reserve margin.
Yes.
Obi.
Now I can't get out of there. You 3,000 and something.
Obi.
Yeah. Them no way.
Bro, for Tinsina Eke na money now a ho.
Can you see?
Net power revenues. You collect 1.8 billion. Shortfall. 1.171 billion.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
Energy
FM.
sector costs. Fixed capacity charges. 1 billion and 30. So what are you talking about?
Because
Chairman. I baby don't offer. I want us a reserve margin or 10%. And I have demonstrated to you here
you've not
that because of the reckless contraction of power that you guys did.
In demonstration, you are only saving your skin because of that.
Oh, myself, Miss Kena. Oh, Obi, yeah. Total power generation cost. Yo, oh yeah. $2 billion and 68 dollars. Dollars. Why they interject him? Now, mama, come on somewhere.
Three things. Available capacity. Say I saw 3,000.
Available
capacity.
Those issues are technical. We'll come into it. And the end time,
installed capacity. Available capacity. Abada capacity. Nina boils down to cost.
Yes.
How much Ghana is paying for the power?
chairman, Mama come on some here.
No, so that if
Felix, why interject a cafe here?
because he is Mr.
No.
I mean, he's the president. Who propaganda is not going to work.
Ekosiiisen on Asempa FM.
Obi, Missy, need now it boils down to the dollars and the cents. Now I have the data here.
See, you can have data and misinterpret. Only thing I into
Yeah. Main reasons for the revenue shortfall: high generation costs, expensive negotiated power purchase agreements between ECG and IPPs.
La Mesa, them American.
It's
going into this, we need time.
Oh,
to deal
Obi.
with this.
Yeah, but pretend be a boy that way. So, Felix. Felix. Matasi, the rational power management will require you to have some reserve.
Yes.
So that at every point, be no equipment ni be no touch and they to my then and they reserve no addition.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that who peak demand is 2,700. You have contracted 5,000,
because
which is far in excess of any reasonable reserve margin. This is a matter of fact.
because demand is not
Share. Obi.
At the point you obey 800 megawatts demand.
Ekosiiisen on Asempa FM.
Share. Obi. Must no kwarewa or your croupe. The truth no is only one.
Yes.
All the energy sector crisis that we've had, at every point, finance minister or indicate the cost that Ghana is incurring because of the power that you added. Yet, Theo, they are quick to say that, oh, Nana Kufado ebe crying for 1 gigawatt impo enfankawa. I'm like, now, would it be sensible, particularly when government no obey, why renegotiate some of the power projects Ecomency to delay or send there's a contractual period that them IPPs no ni na bado at this point the country yen finances is going to collapse. So, yeah, Felix, yeah, yet the Chroma Haiwa, Ama President Kufuor decided to obey Jubilee House. You people said that about the and Kukobu. In check, you, Dr. Tenedu.
Was a formal official position of
so when they see you on your official position of you people, you catch a gun of wind now there. Say, Oman pay Kufuor Jubilee House you okay see in Fasobia and you. Yeah. Oh, so why did you move there? Oh, the man.
What are you talking about?
Catch that police here.
University of Ghana.
University of Ghana, buddy.
A happy birthday to
University of Ghana,
Kwejo Amoa, alias Johnny Cash, Uotema, Central Constituent, we police station chairman, Republic Electoral Area of Community 4. Andrews Kwejo Amoa, happy birthday to you.
Mercy, you know, end this for you. In check, and one 8 years. Obi,
yeah.
What happened 8 years? I want to do the President Mahama. In fact, President most in crowd the way if history book. O send there and University of Ghana Medical Center President most not starting. If you put it in your green book as JM legacy, is it Mr. Mahama's legacy?
Okay.
Many problem.
Many
you can't even be honest